Hi, I'm Melody. Welcome to my channel, Making Melody Crafts. And welcome to our alphabet series. This is the first video in our alphabet series, and we're going to be doing artist trading cards for the letter A. So artist trading cards are, well, traded between artists. And they're usually 2.5 by 3.5 inches, or is it 2.25 by 3? Doesn't matter, we'll put it on the screen. But that's what we're going to do, and we're going to use items you already have at home, so let's get started. When we finish this, we're going to have 5 finished artist trading cards. They are so much fun to do, they're personal, and they're how you want them to be. They represent you and the things you like. So the items that we're going to use are color catchers. They're actually used in laundry. So if you have something in your laundry that you think might bleed, you put, the dye might come out of it. You put one of these in, they're white when you first get them, you toss it in the washer, and it will absorb some of the dye from whatever clothing, is new or, tends to just give off dye like that. So you can have them in any color. These were from new jeans. This is from a red sweater. I think that was also from jeans, but after, many different washes. So you can have those in just about any color your heart desires. So the first thing that we're going to do is rough up our surface. Let's start with the blue ones, so that when I'm doing something that is blue, I tend to want to have a playing card, and these are just old playing cards that I got secondhand. Most of these I've got purchased at the ReStore, and they're usually 50 cents for a pack of cards, for a deck of cards, so that's pretty great. The surface is very glossy, so it tends to not want to grab onto paper very well, so we're just going to rough that up a little bit. The glue won't work as well, and the paper won't stick as well. So you just be careful with that dust, kind of wipe that away. And then we'll add some glue and try that off a little bit. There we go. That's what sweaters are for, right? Alright, so I'm going to get that glue on there, and we'll get our first color catcher down. And yeah, this pretty much unlimited, the different things that you can do, the different ways that you can use these, and different colors, patterns, whatever texture that you like. It's all good. There we go. Now I'm going to trim these off anyways, but I'll let it hang over a little bit, but it's nice when it comes up to the edge. I like the rough edge to be in this area here because that'll give it better texture, and you'll see in a minute what we're going to do next. Put that one up there. Any areas that overhang just a little bit, that's not a problem. We're just going to kind of pull that back and put a little more glue down there. There we go. And I like that glue stick. That's Scotch Create by 3M. That's what this glue stick is, and I like that a lot. I usually get mine at Staples, but Michael's also sells them, I'm sure many other places. And that's a larger glue stick. It's a non-toxic glue, so that's one of the reasons why I like it. And it's initially, you can reposition some things. It doesn't dry really fast, so you have a few minutes, but it is a permanent glue stick. It's not the, school glue sticks or washable glue sticks. It's different. Alright, let's get the other side down too while we're at it. And these are very easy to tear, and I looked at what they're made out of, and these color catchers, on the list, on the package, it just says cellulose and fragrance, something like that. They do smell good, I have to say, so that's kind of fun when you're crafting, and it smells nice, like clean laundry. Alright, got that one down. Now obviously the card's going to show through at this point, but it won't eventually. Let's get the next one. And even though there's some glue on the card, I am adding some glue to the edges as well. You'll want to overlap these just a little bit. It makes it, makes it look nicer to overlap them, and I think, and then you also have more texture there, which is kind of fun, kind of what I'm going for anyways. But artist trading cards, you make them exactly how you want them. Okay, so I'm happy with that one. Now I'm going to leave that sit for a second. And we'll go on to the next one. So now let's do one that's red. So you can obviously in various shades of red. So this is really dark, but you can have that as light or as dark as you want. I think we'll go with this color. All right, let's rough that up again with our emery board. And hopefully I've been framed there. Now the other side. Wow, this one has really got a lot of, doesn't usually take a whole lot to do that, but it did in that case. Alright, so that's good. And try that off again. Good deal. Get our glue down. Some of these cards, you know, are different sizes. You can see that one is a little bit smaller than the red one, but that's okay. At the end of the day, it's how you want it to be. And then the point of the artist trading cards, well, of course, you know, they're fun and you get to see what somebody else makes and what they like, and that's inspiring and nice to see. But you put your information on the back. So your website, if you have one, your email, you know, what have you. And yeah, it's kind of a fun way to have, it's like an artist business card. That is an easy way to explain it. And all handmade. You can't beat it. Okay, when I do that, I like to kind of line up the stencil pattern. Okay, now we'll do the other side, and then we're going to go back to the other one. I've already been doing these for, let's see, 4 hours, I think. Doesn't hurt to add a little extra glue to the color catcher, or whatever it is. Whatever you find around your house that you think would work for this, just grab it and go and see what you can do. Maybe throw some craft supplies in the middle of the table, and maybe the whole family can kind of get to, you know, doing some crafting and just creating something fun, right? And there we go. So you can create some really cool looks with that. So now we're going to move that one, and we'll move on to that blue one. We're going to go back to that. And next we're going to stencil. So if you have a stencil, you can use that. If you don't, you can actually make one. Just use some hot glue on a surface where obviously you can pull it up once that dries. And let me make sure I'm using the right color here. I want the brown because this is the blue one. And the ink that I'm going to use is Ranger Archival ink. And the stencil, I don't remember right now where I got this stencil. But I like that pattern, it's kind of fun. So what I'm trying to do here is just creating a frame around the card. So that's kind of what that looks like. And it'll give me some background too. All right, so we got that down. Now we're gonna go to our stamps. I'm gonna keep letting that other one dry a little bit. It's just here off, out of frame here, off camera, so that can dry. All right, the first one, let's trim this a little bit, but the first stamp that we're going to use is this one, and this is from the set Ink-a-Dink-a-Doo, and it's called Mindscapes. So that's the set. Then this one, which is from Paper Studio, and I've had this for a while, and, oh, excuse me, it's not, it's Stampabilities, and it's the music set. But I like these numbers, they're all connected together, so that's a number stamp. And then this one I actually got at a Goodwill, and it's from All Night Media. And the type of stamp that is, oh, I don't see a name on that right now, but it says Carte Postale? I don't know how to pronounce that, I don't know French. All right, so trim this down. When you do this, when you trim it down, you're going to want to just kind of fold over those edges so that you can see where you're working, where you want to cut. Otherwise you could cut the card itself. If that happens, it's not the end of the world. So that one's all trimmed up, and now let's get to stamping. So with the blue, we're going to do brown, And I'm using the Ranger Archival ink. That is acid-free, permanent, and waterproof. It's pretty great. I like their products, and especially that these large ink pads. And I've just really enjoyed not having to fight with a smaller, ink pad. So I'm going to put this on an angle. Hold it there for a second, let that transfer. When you have a lot of layers there too, that's going to kind of, make it difficult sometimes to stamp that. There we go. Now, in order to make that other stamp look like it's under there, what I did was, we're going to mask that off. So you stamp the stamp, whatever stamp you may have, stamp that on Post-it note paper that is full sticky, the whole thing. And then the back of it is sticky. And you cut that out, lay it down. That should be dry. That dries quickly. Lay that down, and now you're ready to stamp your next thing on there. And when we peel this off, you'll see how that looks. So that's a pretty cool way to do it. And I got that idea to use the full-on sticky Post-it note for this from Lindsay Wyrick, the Frugal Crafter. If you haven't checked out her channel, I'd be surprised. If you haven't, do so. She's very talented and has a wonderful channel. Okay, hold that down for a little bit again. Let that ink transfer, a couple seconds. You could also flip this over and just lay it right down on your stamp if you want to do it that way. So that's what we've got now. I'm just going to kind of wipe the ink off of that. So I've got clear tape on the front of that so that, you can clean it off. And now, can you see? So that other stamp is, under there on the corner. Yeah, that's neat. I like that a lot. And I think I'm actually going to leave my little homemade mask there in place, because the next stamp I'm going to do, I don't want that to happen either, where it gets onto something else. Let me cap my glue. So this is the number stamp from, Paper Studio. Paper Studio is Stampabilities. Okay, I see that on there now. And I want it to kind of run off the paper, or off of the A.T.C, off of the playing card. Neat. That looks like fun there. And then we'll just kind of skip the butterfly, or not butterfly, dragonfly. Yeah, that looks cute. Okay, so that's good. I'm going to pull that off, and that's what we've got. So from maybe, hopefully if you can find them, when Goodwills are open again and thrift shops are open again, they're very economical every time I've seen them. Hopefully you have the same experience. So I'm trimming that down a little bit more because I can see that it's hanging over just a tad. Let's get our numbers on this too, and then I'll glue down that other piece, just so I can see what I've got here first to work with. And I think I'll do that there. Okay, very good. And now how about, I do like that, but how about one of these? So let's get some extra glue on that. This is actually a new glue stick here. My other one's about to run out. Yeah, I like that better there. A good deal. So that's that on there. I like that. I think I'm going to leave that as is, so then there's room to put, information and all of that. Okay, so now we want to trim this one down. I'm going to go ahead and trim this down. Pause this, and I'll be right back. Alright, I trimmed that all down, and now we're going to stencil that a little bit more. So that's got some on there, but I want a little bit more. So we're going to go back to our black ink and load up a dauber a little bit. How about a stencil? That would be helpful. Okay. So we're going to create that frame again. And then on the red one, we're going to do something different than we did on the other one. Our next thing that we're going to do is start our stamping. So we're going to go back to the dragonfly again. I have so much glue on my hands right now. All right, make sure this is the right one. Yep, so we've got our black ink. And I think did I already mention? This dragonfly is from the set from Inkadinkado, and it's called Mindscapes. Okay, so we're going to put him kind of at an angle, and I'm actually going to stand up and put some pressure on here. There we go. That's better. When there's so many different layers like that, it becomes, you know, kind of difficult to get a good impression. So sometimes you have to, you know, push a little harder on that, or take your item to your stamp and then do it that way too. That'll work. Okay, now we're gonna grab the mask again for this one, our dragonfly mask. And here you go. And what's next? This one. This is just a fun background stamp. After I get this stamped, I'll bring it up to you and show you what it looks like. So you can kind of see that in detail. Making sure again that's the right ink. Alright, that's good. Okay. Using my muscles here. Whoa. So that's what we've got now. So now that other one is in there. And I'm going to wipe this off a little bit again, because fortunately that doesn't dry right away on, you know, on like clear tape. This ink doesn't anyways, which is good. Not that it would really matter. Some of these masks that I've made for different things, it you know, it's all stained with ink. It doesn't matter as long as it does the trick. And now the number one. And I want that to go off the paper a little bit, so I'm going to do that. Hold that for a couple of seconds. Should be good. There we go. And why not a little on the other side too? Just down here maybe. That's good. I think I'm happy with that. So that's what we've got on that side. Now for the other side, so we've already got the stenciling done. And I think I'll do a little bit of the number here, but I have a different plan for this side of the A.T.C. All right. So I found, I don't know what paper line this is, but when I was at the Restore a while back, there was this paper. It was all brand new, and the other patterns are like yellows and reds, and then a whole bunch of roosters. So we're going to use that on here. So I'm going to edge this just a little bit. It'll give it a nice little frame. And then I'm going to put this little guy down here. So there we go. So there's our rooster stuck down. I am going to just give that a roll with my brayer, make that stay put. That's not going anywhere. As soon as that dries, that's definitely permanent. And so that's where I would probably put, you know, my contact info and like that. So that one is done. Now on to the blue and brown one. I'm going to go ahead and edge that. And then that one will be done. And get the right dauber here. Whoops. There we go. And just like that. Pretty cool. I like doing these, so much fun. I'll leave that for a little bit longer. Alright, so now we're going to have, when we finish, we're going to have 3 that are blue and brown and 2 that are red and black. So this one already has those colors in it, so that will help to kind of, you know, complete that. Let me close that and grab a glue stick and get that on here. And this pad of paper that I'm working on is just like a little drawing pad that you can get at the dollar store if you have one of those near you. And where is my, here we go, some more of the blue. Let me get that down to the edge. I'm going to try to tear that off before I have a bunch of glue on it. That'll be good. Whoops. There we go. Okay. Now my glue stick, the lids were kind of sticking, and what I like to do is take just, when it's clean, put a little lotion around the inside here and out here, and then that won't stick. So that's pretty great. I think it's the glycerin in the lotion that causes that to, you know, just be a little bit better. Okay, that's good. I don't have a lot of this left in the blue, so I want to be you know, careful with that resource. Now that'll happen when you get to the end of the glue stick. Sometimes that'll come out. You can just hold on to it like that if you're able, and you know, kind of use it that way. Use up all of our resources the best we can, not waste it, and pay for it, right? May as well get good use out of it. So this one came off of another one, but I'm gonna also put that to good use. And that one's going to go right there. Okay, so pull that off, and now we've got the other side to do. And I think I'm out of the blue, but that's all right. We're just going to use another color. So I've got like a gray here, so we'll just use the gray. I'm going to tear this into strips. It tears really easily. There we go. Put that off to the side. And get the back done. Huh, I might really like this. I was, you know, sad to run out of the blue, but this is really pretty. Put that down. This one. Hopefully I've got enough glue there. Let's add a little more. There we go. Whoa. All right. So we're going to let that one dry a little bit and go on to another one. Let's go back to a red one. So these are beautiful. And someone gave me these, so I really appreciate that. Thank you. If you're watching, you know who you are. And flip that over. Rough up the other side a little bit, and then just wipe that away, just in case that's not, you know, something that I want to have glued on there. Get this down. So now we're doing red and black. I've got lots of extra of that, so I don't have to worry about running out of that one. And these strips that I'm tearing it into, you know, it's about, I don't know, maybe 1 inch or 2 wide. I don't really do measurements very well. Not really into that. Oh my goodness. And I'm going to wait on that one, but that's where I want that one to be, on this side. You could also stencil all of the paper and then rip it and then put it on. I just like to do it this way because I get the stencil right where I want it to be. I want to grab that new glue stick, but I'm going to just keep on using this one up until I can't get any more out of it. Eventually, I'll even take, I'm almost at that point now, I'll even take like a little toothpick and get out all of the glue in there. So I really, really do like to make good use of my resources. Use them all up. So in the interest of time though, I'm going to grab the new one for now. Get that all gluey. So yeah, when I discovered this idea, I was pretty excited. I came up with this idea myself about using the color catchers. I have not seen that on any place else on the internet or YouTube, and I have checked. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist, but I got this idea from my laundry. Yeah, it's nice when those ideas come to you. I'm thankful for that. All right. So that's pretty good there. And let's go back to, I'm just going to do a kind of a rough cut here, and then I will pause the camera so that you don't have to watch me just trim paper. So I'm going to trim around there, and then we'll come back and finish decorating that. Alright, so I trimmed that down, and I went ahead and trimmed down the other one as well. So this one will be the blue and brown, and this one's going to be red and black theme. So now we got to get back to the stenciling. Let's do 2 at once. That sounds really efficient, kind of wild and crazy there, but let's see if I can remember which one is which. Okay, so we're going to start with the brown one. And surprisingly, this actually shows up really well on the gray. I don't know if you can see that from there, but I'll bring it up to you in just a little bit. And then all the different pieces that are on there, by doing the stenciling, it just kind of makes everything come together. And I just think it looks so nice in the background. This is probably my favorite stencil right now. So there's that side, and there's that side. So that's how that looks. Yeah. Okay, now let's close that one so I don't accidentally use the brown one for the red, because I don't really like how that looks. And even though there is brown ink on here, it's okay. It's not that big of a deal. It's just, you know, black and brown, and it's dark brown, so that kind of blends in there. You could even do something like this if you're not into artist trading cards. You could do something like this and make it a postcard for your Christmas cards. And postcards are less postage, so that's kind of cool. Oh good, yeah, I like that. Okay, so we've got those done. I'm going to leave that for a second and go ahead and get this one with the paper on. And here we go. There we go. Oh my goodness, it's all just trying to come up on me. Ah, do you ever have a day like that? Oh my. Well, if that's the least of my problems today, that's pretty good, right? Okay. Nice. Back to this red and brown one, which are just waiting to get inked up with the stamp. Okay, so we're gonna start, let's start with the, let's do the red one because the black ink is here. I think I'm gonna go with that side. That's inked up pretty good, and let's get that down on there. Okay, I'm liking that. Now we're gonna go ahead and mask that off. There we go. And I'm gonna keep that little paper, mask there in place so that it can give me a cool effect. So it'll look like that is behind this one. Now on to our number one. So got that. And let's go right through there like that. And let's put some over here too, just because it's so much fun. Alright, so here's the mask. I'm going to go ahead and pull it off so you can see how that looks. So that it looks like the numbers go behind there. Now on to the blue one. And with the blue, I want the brown. Okay, so we've already got that stenciled out. Now we've got our dragonfly. Let's get him on there. There we are. Yeah, really fun, right? Okay. That's just our door, if you heard that. Okay, so that's pretty good. Now let's get the mask on this one and do the same thing again. Get that inked up. Okay, there we go. Nice, that looks pretty cool. I'm liking it. Now we get the numbers in. And the more you play with, whatever your supplies are, your stamps and things, the more these different ideas come to you. So just got to start, right? That's how that one looks. I like that quite a lot. And then that side, I think, is where I would put, information and, your contact info. Okay, so that's good. That's those 3, 4, and where is the other one hiding? I'm sure you can see it. I cannot. Here it is. Okay, so this one, hopefully now should be pretty dry. So you see I've got kind of a, you know, cohesive look here. And some of these are bigger than others. Don't worry about that. It's, you know, your A.T.C. when you trade it. It's how you want it to be. So let's trim some of this off. All right, so that's all trimmed down. And I went ahead and stenciled the backs of these for the blue and brown ones. So while I was doing things, this still had some glue on there. And, you know, the glue was still wet. And it got some paper on there. So I got it off as best I could. But I don't want to lift that up, so that's exactly where that rooster's gonna go. Let's get him glued down pretty good. And if I get him positioned right, you won't even be able to see that. I kind of like that too with his little feet at the bottom. So cute. Okay, so that's how that looks. And I'm just gonna roll over that real quick with my brayer. So that's not going anywheres now. That's stuck. And then this area could be for info. You could put something like this on there to put your information on, or you can just put it on like that. I may do that in the future, but for now, I think that's pretty cool. I like it a lot. And now onto the blue and brown ones. Now we're gonna get that dragonfly onto this one. There we go. Yep, that's good. I'm liking that. Let that dry for a little bit and wipe that off while we're waiting. Okay, that should be good. And now let's mask that off and go ahead and get our next stamp on there. Just want to get that right there. There we go. Let's stand up again, give that a little pressure since we've got different surfaces there that could prevent the stamp from making, you know, full contact with the paper, so that comes out well. All right, we're going to keep that in place, and now we're going to grab our number stamp, and we're going to get that number stamp down there. There we go, that's better. Yep, so that's how that looks. I'm happy with that. So I already edged this with some brown, the same kind of ink, the Ranger Archival. That just makes it pop out a little bit, stands out, so it doesn't, you know, blend in too much. And make sure this is correct. Yep. And there we go. And this glue is forgiving, so I have a minute to kind of put it where I want that, but that looks good to me. And the brayer, and we're good to go. So, yep, I like that one. That was fun. All right, what is left? What is left? So we've got the red one with a little rooster, this red one with another kind of rooster on there. They're slightly different. And I just kind of did some tiny trimmings, as I like to call it, and cut those out. That's the other side. And I think of this as the front side where the dragonfly is, and that is the back to me. It's just how I see it. And put that back on there. Then this one, we've just got a little moth. And yep, I like that. And of course the stenciling and some of the numbers. And this one now just needs the finishing touch on this one. And I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please like, if you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. That does help me get noticed on YouTube. And share it on your social media if you'd be so kind, if you did like it and you think there's others that would enjoy it as well. And please subscribe. That helps me out so much, and I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Each one of you is special and a treasure. I do honestly believe that about everybody. So, and I hope you'll continue to join us for the rest of the alphabet series. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really excited and looking forward to it. And our alphabet series will be a different craft or technique in each video to do with each letter of the alphabet, obviously. So yeah, so this was Artist Trading Cards, and I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I appreciate you all. I'll catch you later.